Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I have two very special guests this evening. I have the president and the writer of Garden of Ethan Aronoff, is here with me tonight. Ethan, good to see you.
Thank you,
and Gene Curnow, who was a former Millville educator and has been a long-time volunteer for the Millville Library. Gene, how long have you been on the library board?
10 years?
Something like that.
At least 10 years.
It seems like you have a lot of people that once they're on, they seem to really stay and help a lot. We talked about my lawyer is on the board, my former lawyer.
Richard Daniels.
Yes. And you got Tony Coogan?
We did have for a long time.
Okay.
And we keep trying to get her back.
Yeah, she was a wonderful lady.
Yeah, she was great.
Unfortunately, John Nurnberger was under the weather a little bit today.
Unable to be here this evening.
Right, but
he's our treasurer.
Well, there's the man with all the money. So
I know.
Speaking about that, let's talk about why does the library board want to expand and renovate your current library? You need money to do it, right?
That's true. Well, we've been at this for about 10 years.
Wow.
About 10 years ago, a couple of us started talking about Bill Fenton and I and some of the other board members. And at that time, we were all of the opinion that we were out of space, we were out of code, and we were out of date in our building, where we are. When the building was completed in 1964, I think we moved in. I was in high school then, so I don't remember.
Like a sophomore.
Yeah, I was
Young kid.
Yeah, but I remember the old library, and then we went to the new library. But back then, I mean, there weren't the electronic devices everybody has today.
Yeah, good point.
So in order to keep everybody happy that comes in the library, they have to recharge, and we have Wi-Fi. We have a lot of modern devices that weren't even in a lot of people's minds back in the early 60s.
Yeah,
So
good point.
that's where we're out of date. So we're going to bring that up to date with the renovations in the old section of the library. There's actually two old sections. One was built in '77, which is where the children's section is now. And that was in the first annex.
I see.
What we're building is technically the second annex, and it will be 10,000 square feet
Wow.
coming off of the Main Street side of the building. That side that faces Main Street.
Correct. It's the Buck Street.
So that'll be added. And they're working now, and the steel structure has just been going up the last couple of weeks. So
I
it's
think
pretty
we
amazing.
have some shots of that too, don't we, Mr.
You do have
Mayor?
some, yeah.
Well, we'll see some.
Somewhere.
And Gene, you pointed out that's what the back, when you come in the back of the library.
Yes, that would be facing the river.
Which is a great place to be able to look out and see the river. And I know we do have some of the shots of the girders that are going up. When did all of this start? I know there was a delay, right?
Well, there's been
The girders there.
there's been more than one delay.
Yeah.
Funding was a big delay because
the
you have to
state.
raise enough money to even take bids, and so that took us a while. And thanks to a lot of different people, several organizations. At some point, I should name them because I think it's terribly important. We've gotten some large contributions from the Neighborhood Preservation Program, the New Jersey State Referendum, which passed, I think, in 2017.
Yeah.
But it took 3 years for us
Get
to
the funding.
get the funding.
Right.
And when we did, it was a matching funding of $3.2 million.
Wow.
And then we had COVID.
Oh,
We
that's
had
true
the
too.
pandemic. The city of Millville has participated. They helped us get our money up so we get a higher match from the state.
Right.
So they were a big help, along with the Neighborhood Preservation Program. And of course, the Carley Family Foundation was a biggie. They gave us a challenge grant of $1 million.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty big deal.
I
And that
remember.
really set us off on the fundraising.
Well, that made us feel that we could do it.
Yeah, I remember being over with you to Marie Carley's house, and
Yeah, you were there, Jim.
yeah, it was great to, see their willingness. I mean, what wonderful people, and God bless Marie. You and I went down to visit her a few times in Cape May.
And their daughters,
Yeah, yeah,
Jacqueline, Jan, and Joni.
yeah.
So they all agreed. So that was a big deal. And the Galetta Foundation have been good contributors. And of course, we have a list of nearly 200 different people,
Oh, that's super.
ranging from $30,000 gifts to lower gifts.
Uh-huh.
And that has all been a huge help making all this possible. Without them, we wouldn't be here tonight talking about this.
And that, you talk about collaboration from the state, of course, with their bonding that they had put out, that it did get passed, that was a referendum, that people voted and said,
Yes.
yes, we want to, put the money.
A statewide referendum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that certainly Millville was able to take advantage of that with all your guys' hard work and the city helping. And, of course, the Carleys really sort of put the icing on the cake. I mean, thank God for their $1 million match.
It was a good start.
It sure was, wasn't it?
We got right out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a racehorse. We were right out of the box.
Yeah, that really was.
But the state referendum was a huge help, $3.2 million.
How much was it? 3.
Matching our $3.2 million.
You had to go up with 3.2, and they gave 3.2.
Yeah.
So it's a
It was
6.4.
It was a 100% match. And I didn't mention a long-time endowment fund, probably established back in Charles Gant's time,
Sure.
and that helped us up the ante on the matching grant. So it's been a consolidated effort by a lot of different people.
It was nice to see Bill and Nancy Forrester at the groundbreaking or ribbon cut. I guess whatever we had, groundbreaking
Yeah.
us outside. But their family, the Gant family, which is Nancy's maiden name, has been.
Well, I succeeded Bill Gant as president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you see, their love for the library, and the Gant room was named after the family.
And regretfully, Bill's no longer with us. Billy.
And I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Gene, did you grow up in Millville?
No.
Okay.
I came to Millville in my 30s.
To be a teacher?
Yes.
That's good. We're glad you came.
Thank
And
you.
and you know Mother Teresa too,
I know Mother Teresa.
Denise. That's what I call Denise Arrigo.
Okay, Denise Ergo. I am from a very, very small town in northern Wisconsin where my great-grandfather was the first president of the library, their first library there.
Oh, that's neat.
They did fundraising for a Carnegie Library.
Wow.
And so that was my great-grandfather. And then my mother, we went to the library every week.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And all through my life, I've been a supporter of libraries. I was laughing, this is my I Love Libraries shirt.
I like that.
I think a democracy needs libraries, a chance for people to get resources. Yes, many people say, oh, we have computers, we can do everything at home. Well, no, you might need help, a resource librarian. Not all people have the computers. Not all the students in the schools have the Wi-Fis. Even though we're a computer world now, libraries are needed, and that's one of our goals. As Ethan was saying, our main goal is to have more updated
Facilities.
technical
Technical things.
and little rooms where people can work together on technology and quiet spaces for working in it.
And there's so many other things that the library offers. It's like, wow, I was
Yeah, we're not
pleasantly
just books.
surprised. No, I mean, more than just books is one of the pages that you have here, and it's amazing professional trained staff you have. Of course, internet access. I remember one of my employees, this has been years back, and she was doing sales, and she would go sit in the library parking lot so she could access her
Absolutely.
phone
People
to,
do that.
to do that so that they could get the information, and she'd go on to wherever else she had to go. And downloading of audio and ebooks.
Oh, I want to say,
do.
I listen to books through Libby all the time. I'm in the car a lot, traveling grandma here. And Libby is a service that our library service provides, that you can rent audiobooks, listen to them on your radio, whatever, your phone.
Wow.
And it's a free service where if you go through audiobooks or something, you have to pay a monthly fee. But no, you can get those books through the library free.
That's fantastic. It really is. A friend of mine had just finished a book, and it was on NVLD, a nonverbal learning disability. And I know she was talking about the audiobooks. And as you say, a lot of us, when you're traveling, it's nice to have the audiobook to listen to, so that you're learning while you're driving and keeps your mind
Or finding out
occupied.
who murdered whom.
That's true, too. Yeah, I watched those Datelines. I saw Dateline last night, and I found out who murdered who and that type of stuff as well. But it's amazing, all the things that you have, the compact disc, the audiobooks, as you mentioned. Now, this is interesting, and Ethan, I know you're a big newspaper person. It says on here, magazines and newspapers. Do you still get
Yes.
the daily?
Hard copies.
Several, yeah.
Do you
We
hard
get
copies?
3 newspapers every day.
What are they, the press?
The Press,
South
South
Jersey
Jersey
Times.
Times, and the Daily
Daily
Journal, I
Journal.
believe.
Yeah, and they're the ones that are most popular
Yeah.
in our area. That's nice that,
Yeah, at any given time, you go in the library, somebody's reading one of the papers. Or
yeah.
Sometimes they hog 3 of them, so snatch one away from
I
them.
remember that real rich guy,
Oh, yeah.
and he used to go take the coupons or whatever out of the go to the library, get the paper. But he was a smart man. He was a multimillionaire.
Flipped over the library coupons.
That was it. Yeah,
That's why he was rich.
that's why he's so wealthy. He was a smart.
We tried to
person.
get him to donate, but he
I know that was
didn't seem
sad.
see
Wasn't it?
fit to do that.
Yeah, he did. In fact, I knew his financial advisor, and he did some things for some of the area schools and stuff
did.
like that, which was very, very nice as well. It's one of the things, too, that I thought was happening in the library, and I say it here, I guess, is the GED classes for those who drop out of high school.
Yeah.
Is that where Bill Hoover's hanging out and teaching sometimes?
No, Hoover's not affiliated with that. Hoover, Bill
does.
used to do tutoring.
Yeah, after school
Yeah.
program.
This is a program for high school equivalency
I see.
qualification,
Uh-huh.
and we get a grant that pays for the instructor and the
Oh,
program.
that's fantastic.
And we have, I don't know, it ranges from
6
5
to 12.
6 to 12 at any
Every
given
week?
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the tutoring will be better in the new building because there'll be small rooms, private rooms that the tutor can go
So-
with the student.
Yeah, there's the information,
Yeah.
Monday
Oh,
through
good.
Thursday, 10 to 1.
Very good.
And
George is
5:30
on
to
top of it.
7:30. He is. He's the man. And Miss Sonia Saul is the instructor, I guess.
Sure, and she does a great job.
That's great.
And right now they're in the basement,
Mhm.
and I'm sure they'll like to come upstairs
They're,
when the library renovation is
when
finished.
they're all finished.
Seems to me, did I do Weight Watchers in the basement or
You could
something?
have.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
did
They
too.
used
All
to
right.
do
See,
that.
that's it. What, it was successful for you, not for
Oh,
me.
my one.
Yeah, but it does have so many. Wow, this is amazing itself. I mean, the literacy program, which is important. I don't know. Does Denise help with that, or some people that
At one
literacy?
time, I'm not sure we're doing all those things
I see.
all the time.
Okay,
But
right.
I know that there are programs at times where teachers from the high school will come in and have math sessions
Okay.
or reading literary sessions.
So you have Notary Public? Notary Public?
Yes.
as well?
Yes, there is a notary.
yeah,
I didn't know that, because
That's a
now that Rich
service.
Daniels isn't there, I don't have a Notary Public anymore.
who's not there?
Rich Daniels,
Oh,
that's where I
okay.
used to go, and his secretary would do it.
Yeah.
Although, actually, I've got Terry Giordano over at Van Emden's law office. They do notaries as well, but it's a nice service, to offer.
Yeah, it's
as
fairly
well.
new. Last 4 years, I think. Something.
So when the grant was finally received, you said was 2000 and
It took 3 years, so I think
So
it
it's
was
2017 to
2020 or
2020.
21 that
Okay.
we finally were notified that we qualified for a matching grant of $3.2 million.
wow.
So
That's
at that
fantastic.
point, we started tinkering with the plans and talking to, we're working very well with the authority, AKA the Cumberland County Improvement Authority. They're a huge help to us because none of us have building experience.
Yeah,
None of us have gone through bidding processes for buildings.
right, yeah.
And they've helped us immensely, and they're helping to oversee with project manager Mort Isaacson. He does a great job
Uh-huh.
for us. We work well with them.
Boy, I tell you what, you don't find two better people than Kim Ayers and Jerry Velasquez. I'm telling you, they do a phenomenal job.
They've both been very helpful. to
Aren't
us.
they? I just
Very
look at
helpful.
what they've done for this county. And Kim, when I was the mayor, she was my right-hand person as far as bringing in economic development along with Don Ayers. And the Ayerses are super. And then when she went with Jerry at the at the improvement, or now it's the authority. But what a great team, because they're both sharp as knives. And I had the other night on my program Sandy Forsiski, who was the Economic Development Director for the City of Vineland. Well, it goes back when I was on the Empowerment Zone. That started when I was mayor of Millville. Sandy was hired, and then she left. Jerry was hired. Jerry left, and then an attorney, I forget her name, she took Jerry's place. But you talk about two people that did so much to get the Empowerment Zone going, and then they blossomed at Vineland and the whole county. And I give the county credit that they realized that the Improvement Authority, because they used to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars out for economic development, and nobody's better than Kim Ayers and Jerry Velasquez and Sandy Forsiski that I see in this whole county. They bring in many, many millions of ratables. I was talking about bringing stuff in. What you guys were able to do, you brought in over $3 million that would have never been here had you not put forth the grant and did all the work. And Ethan, I know you worked hard on getting the donations and things like that. And
the whole board was
Yeah.
very supportive and
Yeah.
very helpful at varying times.
Well, you got some great people on the board, and everybody does this for nothing. They're doing this for the love of the library, not for any personal gain.
Well, I do it for first dibs on certain books. It's
And
a
I
perk.
do request books too.
Yeah.
Well, you're allowed to.
But you know what? Anybody can request a book, and it's not just a book from this library, because the librarians will search through libraries throughout the country to try to find a special book that someone may need for research, or I don't know, the big dinner. I don't
Well, it
know.
might be out of print, and if it's available and they're willing to send it to Millville, you can get it at virtually no cost.
That's wonderful. Really is.
It's one of the things that I'm trying to think. The librarian. Oh shoot! I just drew a blank. It's Kate's husband.
Oh,
Report.
Rich Daniels?
No, who she's with now. He's a former librarian. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I was in there to do an interlibrary loan, and I would do it all the time. Finally, I asked for certain movies or something about the RAF in World War II or something. And he says, well, I'll get it for you, but I want you to come on the board. This was 2005.
Oh, is that how you got on the board?
He said, I can get those for you, but you got to come on the board. So that
But-
was, yeah.
You were mentioning World War II, because now we're connected with the library at the airport.
There is a connection.
There's
Oh,
a
is there
connection,
really?
yeah.
Wow, that's super.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Charlie Brasina is now the librarian there.
Oh,
And,
that's good. He used to be the
working-
high school
yeah, working with
librarian.
him.
Remember? You worked with him at high school.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
That's why I call him Charlie. Yeah, so there's a connection through the community in
There
many
is.
ways.
Yeah.
And the interlibrary loan, that's what you call it when you want a book from another library, yes.
Interlibrary loan.
Well, I just-
Interlibrary loan
just-
is a wonderful thing. I mean, I cannot think how much money I would spend on books, audiobooks, if I didn't have a library.
Well, we just
I'd be in the poorhouse, I think.
we just started a program at the circulation desk.
Oh, that's
It's the first time I've seen it. And when you take out a book, at the bottom it will say, you just saved $28 by using the Millville Public Library.
That is a wonderful
That's super.
idea, and this is for
everybody
This
when they
is
take
for a cookbook and a
Yeah.
standard story. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad they started doing
Christmas
that.
comfort foods. That's pretty cute, you know? The
'Cause
Arabian
I save a
Nights
lot of
tales.
money.
That's good. Well, we've got people watching all over. Wes Zwirak is watching from South Florida and said to say hello. Somebody asked, is Rich Cocking still working at the library? Is that?
No, he's no longer with
No,
us.
he's no longer. Okay, this was somebody was asking that as well. But this is neat, this receipt. That is really,
It's a good
it
idea.
shows what you're getting in value, which is $28. That's something. And, you know, it's something that everybody can use. I mean, I remember just watching on Facebook the other day, and Timmy Coogan, we talked about Tony, the first day he got his library card, he was like 5 years old, you know, and it had a picture of it or whatever, and, you know, how important it is. And, boy, I bet you, Gene, you taught, I bet if you look at the kids that were library participants and readers, they did very well in school. They, tend to be able to absorb and that type of thing. So I'm sure that was very helpful for.
And to see a young person, like a 5-year-old, come into and see all those books.
Yeah,
it is a lovely thing to
We're talking with Jean Curnow and Ethan Aronoff from the Millville Library Board of Directors. We'll be back with Ethan and Jean right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care Health Network has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high-quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or an email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
I'm Brian Lankin, third-generation business owner, Al Shoes. Been at the same location since 1961, our 61st year. We specialize in work boots, work shoes, orthopedic shoes, baby walking shoes, and school shoes. We go up to a men's 17 and a woman's 13. It's $5 off, $25, and $10 off 100 if you mention that you've seen this.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
When you want delicious food made from scratch soups and locally sourced ingredients, you head to Larry's 2 on Main Road in Vineland, New Jersey. Family owned and operated, Larry's 2 boasts one of the area's only salad bars with a great selection of fresh vegetables, rolls, dressings, and more. In their cafe, enjoy a piping hot cup of your favorite beverage made by one of their skilled baristas. Their complimentary Wi-Fi allows Larry's 2 to be the meeting destination with a friend or small group. They also offer banquet rooms that can accommodate 10 to 120 guests for any occasion. Open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Call Larry's 2 today at 856-692-9001. Larry's 2 Restaurant and Cafe, located at 907 North Main Road in Vineland, New Jersey.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. That beautiful building you see behind us is the home, once it's all finished, of the beautifully expanded Millville Library. And with me is the secretary of the Millville Library Board of Directors, Jean Curnow. And the handsome guy to her right is Ethan Aronoff, the youngest city commissioner ever in the history of the city of Millville. And he's the one that made me, no, he was also director of public safety and had a wonderful career, traveled the world. You know, you're my idol, Ethan, let's be honest. Jeez, please, you've done everything, huh, Gene? Now, of course, you grew up in Wisconsin and Minnesota, so I always liked that area as well, the country, but a little cold.
Little cold.
I actually
50 inches of snow this year.
Oh, my gosh. I went to the Super Bowl in Minnesota last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl 5 years ago, or whatever it was. And luckily it was inside, because to get from the hotel to there was chilly in February. Yeah, it's a cold time of the year. But anyway, it's amazing, all of the activity. I was looking at the people and organizations that use the library. It's unreal, from the friends, you've got the Girl Scouts, the Millville Women's Club, which is a great organization.
Oh, before I forget, I want to thank the Friends of the Millville Public Library.
I did see that.
They're very supportive.
Yes. And who are they?
And they're our support group, the Friends of the Library.
They raise money
They conduct
primarily
the book
through
sales.
Oh, and Jean, you said there's something coming
This
up, right?
Saturday, there will be one from 10 to 1 at the library book sale. There we go.
There you go. So you can.
And they raise money month
do.
after month after month. Even though the books are only a dime
Jeez.
or a
Louise.
quarter.
Well, they're starting to wind down a little bit because we have to vacate the basement for the renovation.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So they're trying to sell off what books we have and box up the rest, I guess.
That's fantastic. 10 cents and 25 cents. You can't beat that. And again, you're helping them, not declutter, but, gives you room to move and do what you need to do
Right.
at the library. But I see the Cumberland County Health Department uses the library, and the Head Start program, the Girl Scouts, Women's Club, as we mentioned. Lots of places, Cumberland County Public Defender's Office.
We've
Millville.
had election.
Oh, that's right.
Elections.
Forgot about that. Yeah, Millville Board of Education, Discovery Project, and
Now, some of those things aren't every...
no, I understand. On occasion, like the
Off
Bay,
and ons, yeah.
Bay Atlantic Symphony. I'm sure that's nice that they get the practice or whatever they need to do as well. And lots of wonderful things. And as you pointed out, the expansion of what the library was 40 years ago compared to all the electronics and everything that's going on now, it's just a great place. And Gene, you mentioned too, a lot of the kids don't have internet. So especially with the COVID, it had to be tough for families that didn't have internet in their house to do the Zoom and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to have the library there for the children when they need that as well. And it's tell us some of the problems, Ethan, you and I have talked about as you were progressing to do the building of the library. They found some things they were surprised.
Well,
they were
the
to find.
number one factor, to some degree, was the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who saw that
mentioned
coming?
too? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
interfered with...
Well, getting the product, it probably. everything
Well,
was
I think it
backlogged, right?
affected bidding, too.
Yeah,
I'm not an
right.
expert
Prices
because we
went up,
leave that
yeah.
up to the CCIA, but we were told at varying times, well, you're going to have trouble getting that. Or,
Yeah.
And then the supply lines.
Chain,
so the
yeah.
Chain,
Yeah.
That was a problem. And then a really annoying problem, we're getting ready to get underway and to put the footings down. Now, as I understand it, the footings that were facing Main Street and Pine Street were getting ready to be put down, and they required 3 feet clearance to the bottom of the footing.
Gotcha. Right.
Well, they dug down 2 feet, and they found a concrete conduit, which was for electrical wires. And it was had lead in it, had concrete around it, had a bunch of wires in it, and they weren't sure whether they were live wires or not. They weren't sure where they went. And one of the worst problems is nobody claimed it.
And there was no record
There were no records of this conduit. So
next to this brick-built manhole. So we knew it was old.
Oh yeah.
It was old.
So it may have something. It may have had something to do with the upper works of Whittle Tatum, which was at one time near that site.
Uh-huh.
So it could have been related to that. To be sure, it probably went back to at least 1950 or 51, when the Millville Electric Light Company merged with the Atlantic
I
City
see.
Electric Company.
Weren't they at High and Pine?
Well, yeah,
Electric.
years ago they used to
A
have
block
an
away,
office.
yeah. Oh, that's
But
true.
these are these buried wires, and nobody wanted to claim it because we had to get them out of there. So not only was it a time-consuming element to the project, I mean, we're talking 2 months or more. It also was an expense. I mean, you allow for contingencies, but you'd rather not.
Yeah,
But it was over $20,000.
Wow.
And it was expense to pay the people who had to come in a specialty
To make the
company
determination.
to make the determination. We had to pay for them.
Right.
Plus, we lost 2-3 months of good weather
Yeah.
for construction.
Yeah.
Good point.
Because this was during the summer, June, July, and August, finding out
Prime time.
these wires.
my goodness.
Construction. So what we're seeing happening now should have been going on about 3 months ago.
And then everybody knows that the prices have gone up regularly
Yeah.
in those 3 months. So that was a real problem, those
Yeah.
wires.
They're
That
issues.
nobody knew anything about.
That's something. Yeah, well, I guess, nobody from 1950 is still working at the city or electric.
Well, I knew a guy that worked there then, but it would have been a seance to get a hold of him.
I was ready to hold one.
John McDonald, you mean?
John McDonald. John was a long time Millville Electric
And
Light
Atlantic
Company
Electric.
employee, and then I think he went with Atlantic City
Yeah.
Electric.
Yeah, he did.
His whole career was with the electric
Yeah.
companies.
He was a great guy.
But he's no longer with us, so
Yeah. Yeah.
couldn't ask him.
Yeah, that is tough. And as you say, it delayed everything. And delay is money because, all trying to get the products in from, the COVID, everything is back ordered and
Yep.
waiting for that.
Well, we're working very well with Ogren Construction.
Yeah, they do a good job, don't they?
And Ogren, we meet with them, every couple of weeks. We have a contractors meeting. And they're very helpful, very informative, and they've been very cooperative.
That's good.
And, so it's a major project, certainly for us.
Yeah, it sure
And
is.
it's right now maybe the biggest building project in Millville at the moment.
Oh, what's over 6, 7, close to 7 million, right?
Yeah, it's close to 7 million. It's
Yeah.
over 7 million.
Wow. That is wonderful.
Before it's done, it could be closer to 8 million.
Yeah, and as you talked about, the more with the COVID and the delays, it just pushes prices up because they can't get the product or, whatever availability and all that.
It makes scheduling very difficult.
Very
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Now, when do you see the possibility of this all being done?
Spring 2024.
Okay, so a little over a year from now.
But it's 2 phases. The first phase is the annex itself, the addition,
Mm-hmm.
and then poke a big hole in the current wall.
Right.
And what will happen then is the library services as much as we can. We'll move into the new part while the old part is being renovated with new shelving, new spatial considerations. Gene had mentioned meeting rooms. Well, we're talking about 3 or 4 different small meeting rooms which people can use in the community. And so there'll be a lot of work done. And the roof on the old part is really awful. So we're hoping to get that replaced as much as we can.
City old library was 62, 64?
64, I think we removed it.
Yeah.
The library itself, I should mention, is over or close to 160 years old, I think.
Oh, from when it was at High and
When
Main?
it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It was a
Millville-
reading room for the Working Man's Institute, I think, among other things.
The city was incorporated 1866, right?
Yeah, that's true. So it actually predates Millville being declared a township or a city.
Yeah, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
This, what you see, of course, there is the, well, here.
Oh,
he's
there we
got
go,
some,
the
yeah.
inside picture, yeah.
And
Look a lot different than it does now.
sure does. Nice
Many
and
more
open,
books,
too. Yeah.
tables. See the computers.
That's the new circulation
rooms.
desk there.
Oh, okay.
On the right, on what I'm looking at is the right-hand side. but-
Right.
And then the little rooms for people to be working in.
But
That's
that's
nice.
the new section there. And you can see the high ceiling.
Children's, yeah.
we're gonna have.
Yeah, right. Children's areas there as well. which
There
is-
were, we worked very closely. I need to also mention, and I'm remiss if I don't, we're working with Marigi, Manders, and Portadon, architects from Vineland.
Mhm. They're very good.
But Mr. Marigi has a direct connection with the library. His wife worked for us for a long time.
She's a
Suzanne.
reference
Suzanne,
librarian
yeah. She's a
when my
sweetie.
kids were little. Yeah.
And her father was on the board the first time I was on the board,
Oh,
which was
really?
in the 1970s.
Yeah.
I forget his name, too. No, he was a good guy.
In fact, it's funny. You mentioned Suzanne. I think it was her was in the first class I ever substituted at Wood School Miss Baumhoff's fourth grade. She was a fourth grader at that time. I should remember her.
I remember her. She was a nice lady.
Yeah.
She was on the board for
Was she really?
For
that's nice.
ages.
Wow,
on the board.
that's great. Yeah, very, very nice people there. And that's another factor. I mean, you're blessed to have Gene and John and, Rich and all the people. Do you have a list of all the people that are on the board?
Well, you would. I should have brought it with me.
Okay, well, Gene probably knows them all, right?
I'm thinking of Marianne Lodz from the Art
Lodes,
Center.
yeah.
Lodes from the Art Center. Yeah, you don't want me to pronounce any name. Suzanne Ola.
Yeah.
A lot of community people.
Yeah, Suzanne worked with me at the city, too.
I hear we have Erica Milbourne's joining.
Erica Milbourne's new.
What a wonderful lady.
Yeah, here we go.
Sherry Stiles, Diane Nugent.
Our Vice President, Karen Harris.
Yep, no Karen.
And Sherry, yeah, you mentioned Diane Nugent, Marianne Russell, Suzanne Ola. And our director, our library director, is Courtney Reese, who does a terrific job for us.
Yeah, she does. She's a very
We're
good
very
lady.
fortunate to have her.
Yeah, you really are. I just saw her somewhere recently, so yeah, but that's, and again, all those people donate their time and their services, because they care. They
Heidi Dugan's another member. Heidi.
Yeah, and I'm
We're missing.
this is terrible. We should.
I know.
We have
We're
a
unprepared.
list,
Yeah, we're unprepared.
Justin.
Oh, yeah. Connor. Bob Connor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jay.
Jay Connor. Yeah, I
Jay
remember
Connor.
seeing him.
There we go. We got it.
We got him.
Yeah, at when you were having the ceremony and stuff that we televised. And back, how many years ago has that been? 3?
When we did what?
When we did the groundbreaking.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago. It was about 2 years ago. Wasn't
Was it 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, time flies, but I wasn't sure how long it had been.
Oh, and a lady named
Yeah,
Benny,
221.
too. I forgot her.
Yeah.
Another board member named Benny, her last name.
Oh, okay. So how many people total, Bill?
Was it 14?
We're terrible.
Sounds good. I'll believe you.
All of them.
All of 15.
All of them.
15.
All of us.
But if people are interested in being on the board, we have a nominating committee that they can
Just express their
put
interest.
their name forward.
Well, that's really nice of all of the people to do and to care. And every person you mentioned, I know just about every one. And fine individuals, they really, truly give back to the community. And, that's what's nice. And Ethan, how many years have you been on the library board?
20-some?
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
But, you've always loved the library. That's something.
Yep, I used to park my bicycle in front of the old library.
It's second.
And miracle of miracles, it was still there when I came out.
Back in the day.
That was back in the 50s.
That would have been about
60s.
58,
Yeah.
57, something like that.
I don't know. Nowadays, we'll see. But that was.
We're also remiss if we don't cite the city. The city is very instrumental. They provide our operating expenses, and that's a very significant figure.
And Ben Romanek is down.
I was just going to say Ben Romanek is.
Ben Romanek's our
Has
commissioner,
been with us.
our city commissioner.
Who did you say? Besides Ben, it's just Ben Romanek.
Yeah, just
he's got parks and public property, right, which
Yeah.
gives him the library. Of course, his grandpapa, you served on the Millville City
I
Commission.
did. His grandfather Steve.
Yeah, he was quite a good man. Did a lot of time, and was there for a long time on the Millville City Commission.
He was there. Quite a while. 3 or 4 terms, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure he really was, and it's nice. Lisa Orndorff, I know she and Ben came to one of the things we had when Jerry and Kim Ayers were there. Remember, I emceed it. It was,
Yes, last summer.
That was the second groundbreaking.
Yeah, right. And
We had to do that for qualifying for certain monies that were available. So that helped us qualify.
yeah,
Yes, so thank you for being there to help
Oh.
us qualify
Yeah.
for it.
That
It
would
had to
be-
be a public ceremony.
yeah, it was really nice. It was nice of Ben and Lisa to come out and to
And
be
the high
there.
school supported us. We had choir members. come
Oh,
and
that's
sing.
right. I do remember that.
So
Yes, they did.
We're trying to
Yeah.
incorporate.
Yeah. So have you guys met Tony Trongone yet? Talking to
No.
The
super guy.
superintendent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he is amazing. What a wonderful man.
And-
we're lucky to have him.
I'm thinking of when he was at Memorial, right, before he became superintendent. No, that's no.
Tony
Okay.
came
Well,
from
anyway,
Pemberton.
we have more and more programs for teenagers now. We've always had the children's room and the children's programs, story time and different programs for the little ones. But recently, more opportunities for teenagers have come up, meetings, groups. And that's one of the reasons for the expanded space, is to have a room that maybe teens can come in and close the door. There is a certain section of the library that's for teens with the chairs, but hoping that there will be more opportunities for them.
I see a robotics club.
there really
I'm sure
aren't
the
that
teens are
many
involved with
around.
that. Resume writing, the robotics club special exhibits. Teen options is mentioned here as well, tutoring.
And with the resume writing, also classes in how to use your internet.
Well, I should take that.
Those are very.
I'm still
He has
about
classes, and I know one of my neighbors has gone in to take classes on just email and texting, and so for all different ages.
That's great. That's
having
good.
Programs.
I also see in my Millville High School yearbooks, or I guess they're available. That's great.
Yeah.
So I wonder where mine is. I have to go to the library and look at it.
Probably there.
Probably is. We're talking with Ethan Aronoff, who is the president of Millville Library, and his right-hand woman, his secretary, is Jean Curnow. We'll be back to talk more right after these messages.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here, just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here, and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Vineland, New Jersey is a place rich in innovation and deeply rooted in hometown traditions. The city's agricultural legacy, where brands like Welch's and Progresso originated, lives on today alongside companies producing the critical pharmaceutical packaging we depend on. While Vineland continues to grow, it retains a quality of life enriched by cultural diversity and an abundance of nature's playgrounds to enjoy.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. We have something for everyone at VinelandCity.org.
Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Well, Wildflower Vegan Cafe is one of the longest-running all-vegan eateries in the state, and the only one in South Jersey to feature so much local and organic produce, where everything is made in-house from scratch. We have a small seasonal menu that changes frequently. We can always find healthy, hearty salads, wraps, soup, and baked goods, all made in-house.
To teaching.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Jim Quinn along with Jean Curnow and Ethan Aronoff, who are on the board of directors of the Millville Library. And Jean had some good points during the commercial break. Jean mentioned about availability of getting online and and getting your resumes out there, because that's hard for people to do nowadays. Everybody wants it online.
Yes, it's very hard to do if you don't have the computer, if you don't have the printer, if you don't have the knowledge of how to do that. And the library and the librarians are available to help. There's the computers and printers, and many people come in to apply for jobs. It's a resource that's invaluable for the whole county for getting people jobs, employment.
And that's a wonderful service, and especially for people that you have to do it online anymore. They just don't want the paper thing. They just want to take it online. And I know there's a lot of services. Indeed is one, that you see advertised a lot. But one of the things, Ethan, I'm sure that the library would still love to have people consider investing in the future of the library, like
absolutely,
Curnow, Gene does with her time and effort, and Marie Carley, was the one that we talked about, and that was such a nice time to be at her house that night and get her and the girls were all on board, and it really started the ball rolling.
No, they were great.
Can you imagine without her? I don't know if we'd ever gotten this thing going without $1 million.
It would have been harder to get it started, because it was a challenge grant, and in the way they wished it to be and what they described, we tried to conform to their wishes, which was mainly to generate more money to get to the goal. Right. And we actually at one point had 3 different plans, Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. And it was dependent on how much funding we were able to obtain. So Plan C was the smallest addition.
Right.
And B was a little bigger. And A was pretty much what we're doing now, but we're not doing the basement part, expansion we had discussed, but pretty much the rest of it. But we were very fortunate. Again, the authority helped us with the bidding, and Ogren submitted the best bid. So
that's great.
Very pleased about that. And I also want to mention, I will be remiss if I don't mention Holly City Development Corporation with Jim Parent, the chair, and Heather Santori working
they do
there.
A wonderful job.
They helped us with one of the major grants that we got.
Yeah.
So we're very appreciative of their support.
Yeah, great organization. They really are. And of course, Jim is the chairman of the board, and Heather Santora does a wonderful job. They were very, very good helping with economic development when I was the mayor, along with Kim Ayers and Don Ayers. I see this quote from some brilliant guy. It says, what they're talking about, invest in the future. And this person said, we're out of space, we're out of date, and we're out of code.
That's what I said.
Yes, you did. And that is true because, as you mentioned, that's the reason we needed to upgrade, to expand. And, look at the beautiful library there. As Gene points out, that's the view. When you're in that part, you'll be looking at the river. And what a great location when you think about it, right? It doesn't get any better.
Beautiful. It would tie in with the park there.
Yeah.
And the bandstand. And
there were discussions about moving the whole kit and caboodle, maybe starting over again. But first of all, it's cheaper to put an addition on when you want that many square feet. And secondly, it's an attribute to downtown Millville. It's a plus for the community. Hopefully, other things will happen.
And people who live in Millville can walk.
Yes.
Walk, they can drive.
That was
it's
another
near the post
consideration.
office.
Exactly.
It's near the...
It's interesting. A friend of mine was talking about renting some space. He's an accountant. And he said, boy, that place across from the library would be a great location. It's up for rent or sale or whatever. And I said, again, getting everybody in the same area. Like you said, they can walk there. It's convenient. And there's plenty of parking, too, if you need to want to drive there and park. So, and it's what did I say, 12,323 square feet addition. And the south side with the elevator and the small basement increase as well.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, the new entrance is facing the Morris River, looking over the walking and bike trail, and updating all the original infrastructure, mechanical, electrical, air conditioning, current space room replacement, coupled with energy-efficient addition, improved the collection, display, and shelving. That'll be nice, won't it, be able to improve and you see, George has it up on the screen now, the addition, existing library, and it just will work out perfect, and the location is great, And it's going to be energy efficient with LED lights.
Well, there's a lot to be said about that, and again, working with the architects, we're hoping the new roof will help. There's a possibility of a solar roof on the new
great.
part. That could happen. That funding is not assured at the moment.
Working on it.
But we're looking ahead.
Yeah, well, that usually pays for itself.
Well, that would help us make it the new combined library more sustainable.
Yeah.
And there's also LED lighting will be throughout.
Yeah, that's great.
That's part of the renovations and the new part. And those windows, you see a lot of windows, they're designed so that in the summer they won't beat down on the interior.
Right, gotcha.
They won't create a heating problem beyond what would be
how
normal.
nice that is inside, folks, with a beautiful view. It's
And again, on the right is the circulation desk. The other factors involved were in the planning stages of this building. We had several librarians from other locations weigh in on this.
Oh, that's good.
They actually have a group of librarians, they call them the SWAT team, and they'll examine your plans and see if they can make them better. And they did. They fine-tuned our plans beyond what the architect first put together, which was mostly fine.
Sure.
But these librarians understood
they work
libraries even better. And what they did for us, the biggest thing is sight lines, as you've seen.
Yeah, it really
so that you
is
don't
nice.
have to hire a lot of people to keep an eye on everybody.
Yeah, that was nice, that last photo we saw.
Well, that made me think of it, because the circulation desk, you always have to have somebody at the circulation desk.
Right.
And they can actually look down on the whole library first floor, except for the Gantt room, which is separate.
Sure.
And except for the workroom. But it has a bird's eye view of the whole cathedral. So you don't have to have a lot of extra people.
Yeah, that makes it nice, too.
Not to say that might be required down the road, but it was designed to hold down the need for a lot of employees.
How many staff members do you have now, approximately?
I think it's 18 or 19. Four that are full-time?
Full-time. Most of them are part-time.
The rest are part-time.
Well, and that's smart, because that saves on benefits and it keeps your costs down.
And we have a very good staff, by the way.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, every time I've ever been there, they can't be more helpful. They're
Very
really
friendly.
Yes, exactly.
There was one lady who came to the first groundbreaking, and on her way out, I was sort of the last one out, and she came up to me. She said, "I wish your board was at Vineland, at the Vinyl Library." And I understand partly why she said that, but it made me feel good that we have a board that's really on top of it, that's doing a great job and sees the future. And we're very fortunate for the board and our staffing and our friends at the library and our city support. So there's so many people to be thankful for.
Yeah, you really have, and knowing most of the board members and those like Tony Coogan have been there before, and just wonderful people. And you got Erica Milborn. Doesn't get any better than Erica. She's a sweetheart. She really is involved in the chamber and all the things that she's doing, and she does some programming for me as well on TV. And she interviewed the Moore guy, Dave Moore, about mental health and the M25 program just recently, and she just does a wonderful job.
I want to give you a quotation.
Okay.
From a fellow that I think we all know, George Mitchell, the late George Mitchell.
Oh, what a great guy.
He was very supportive of this project, and he explained having more police on the streets increases safety, but he felt that the library changes the culture, and that makes the community even safer.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Very much.
And there's another quote there. Would you read that?
Dr. Edward Salmon, who told us two things important in a community are public safety and the public library.
Well, that's something, and they both hit on that with their statements. And we were talking earlier about how important it is for the kids to get in the library to learn to read, and loving to read gives them a love for education, and hopefully they'll go on and things like that. And, you know, that is a great thing. And the story hour for the kids and, you know, those type of things are so important, you know.
Lego club.
Lego club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
my grandchildren love Legos. That's the big
kids in.
thing that's going on.
Just have a place for teenagers where they can even just come.
That's nice. Yeah, that really is. And they can socialize and, you know, do some things, and got the computer and all that kind of stuff that works with it as well.
And we have, I think it's 30 community access computers.
Wow.
I mean, not everyone can afford a computer and the software.
Yeah.
Or maybe the
And the
electricity,
internet,
but they can come in the library.
And we have children's computers, too.
And we do. That's what made me think of it. So there might be 34 total, 35, something like that.
I also saw one of the things you had listed about a cooling center for people that, you know, it was, I think for the seniors. It was
in the summer, yeah.
Yeah, as well. So, you know, and as you mentioned, the city's been very helpful and, you know.
We've been very supportive over the years.
Yeah, and during this administration, and of course the previous administration, where my buddy Joe Pepitone was hanging around then, and Jimmy Parent, and Mike Santiago, and Bruce Cooper, and Ashley Anovalis. So
all supportive.
Yeah, which is good, because the better your library is, the better the city's going to have. Quality of life is certainly going to increase, and you know, I want to thank you too for your time that you donate to help make the library such a successful facility.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for being with us, and thank you all for joining us this evening. My thanks to George Kachia, who produced the program today on the expansion of the Millville Public Library. And look at how beautiful that's going to look when it's all done. You'll be able to overlook the river. It's a great place, safe place, and don't forget the sale. 10 cents for children's books, 25 cents for regular books. It's this Saturday, so be sure to stop on by. And all the money, there you see the book sale, Saturday from 10 to 1. And it's at the Millville Library. And it's cash only, so if you need quarters and dimes, I got a whole bunch of them. I'll be happy to drop them off to you. So anyway, thank you again, Gene and Ethan, for being with us, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
There you have it.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.